It's time to welcome the Wine Ladies with Georgia and Suzanne. An entertaining hour topped up with great ideas about wine, where to dine, anything and everything to do with the vine. Great conversation, lots of laughter, guests from all walks of life, food and wine, music, art, sports, and much more, all on The Wine Ladies.
Hi everybody, it's us, the Wine Ladies.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Suzanne, and welcome to the Wine Ladies, one sip at a time. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon.
Now we hope you guys are all having a fantastic week. I know so far everything is going fantastic for Suzanne and I. Now what have we got planned for you today? Well, there is a very large Italian contingency here in our fair city, and they are all here for the 17th annual Italian wine tasting, with I think close to 80 different estates that are going to be here pouring 450 of their finest wines. So it's going to be unbelievable. And one of our two segments, of course, we are going to be speaking with one of the fine wineries that are here for the event. And Suzanne, you know how much I love Italy and the Italians. And the wine, of course.
The show is about wine, Georgia. Don't get too carried away.
All right, reel me in.
All right, so of course we love our Amarone, and who doesn't love a big Barola? And as a matter of fact, didn't you have your honeymoon in Italy as well? I think it was Sardinia. I know it was a long time ago, but if I recall.
Yes, I married underage. No, actually, yes. Yeah, actually it was in Sardinia, and you know what? I remember, I think that was one of the places where I really fell in love with Italy. I mean, they had fantastic beaches, and the food was amazing, the people, and of course they make wine there. I think it was the Cananal grape, I think, that is like a clone to Grenache, and it was amazing, just a fantastic spot.
And you know what, the people of Ontario love Italian wines as well. As a matter of fact, Italy is the country that we import the most wines from.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
More than any other region.
More than any other region. We love our Italian wines here.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, you know what? Why don't we actually get the show on the road? Like I said earlier, that we have a gentleman here that is visiting from Italy. This house actually, I think it dates back as far as, I think it's like 1824, or even somewhere I read 1630, which is still yet to be determined.
That's a whole 200 years missing.
I know. Well, so, I don't know. Well, you know, that's what I saw on the website. So we're going to speak to Riccardo Tedeschi, and he is the proprietor and the winemaker over at Tedeschi Winery. So Riccardo, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How is everything?
Very well, thank you.
So welcome to Toronto.
Yeah, thanks. The date, about the date, 1630 was the first document we found that we were making wine in Valpolicella. 1824 is the first deed of purchasing vineyard, sorry. We purchased the first vineyard in 1824. So we're making wine from a few generations, many actually, and it was more for the wine bar we used to own. And the history is that my grandfather was the first man who started to sell wine in barrels to other wine bars. And the company has been developed by my father. So me and my sister, I consider the second generation of the company like it is now. My father introduced the wine we are still producing now, all the labels, and especially the style of wine we are making. So very elegant, very complex wine from Valpolicella.
Very nice.
And so maybe you could tell us a little bit of the region. It's a very romantic region also, Verona.
Yeah, I'm from Valpolicella. We are 10 miles northwest of Verona.
Yes.
Verona is the city of Romeo and Juliet, you know.
Yes.
So
Romeo and Juliet.
It's a beautiful city downtown. It's, for me, it's one of the best cities of Italy to visit. Valpolicella is it covers actually all the area north of Verona. It's composed by different valleys. Is I would say from the same grape varieties that are Corvina, Corvinone, and Rondinella are not popular. They are local varieties, and they are grown only there. We make a completely different style of wines. So we go from Valpolicella made with fresh grapes and up to Amarone made with semi-dried grapes.
So how many different styles of wine do you make at the winery?
We make we produce 12 different wines. I have to say 5 main wines about volume. Let's say we make 5 main wines, but then we have a lot of specialties. Wines produced in very small number, like 3,000 bottles or 5,000 bottles. So we are very specialized on some, especially on Amarone, on some special Amarone and special Valpolicella.
Like we mentioned at the beginning of the show that people in Ontario love Italian wines, and we import a lot of them here. Your company, are you a large exporter of Italian wines to Canada? Is it one of your bigger markets?
Canada is our first market, and Ontario has been always one of the main markets inside Canada.
There you go.
Yes. Canada actually, I think, has been the first market to discover Amarone. Amarone is a sort of new wine. It was a mistake in the history.
It was a mistake?
Yes, it was in the history we used to produce Recioto, the sweet version of Amarone. Was made by Romans. It had a different name, but it was the same wine during the history. And in 1950s, some producers started to produce on purpose to make Amarone. They wanted to make a quite strong wine, a dry wine out of dried grapes. Generally from dried grapes they produce sweet wines around the world. In Valpolicella we want to make a great wine out of dried grapes.
So maybe you can tell us how they do that. Yeah, like how do they dry the grapes? And is it traditionally done now the way you used to do? What, 400 years ago? That was 200 years ago, I guess.
Let's say it's similar.
Similar, okay.
The process inside the berry is the same. I mean, the grapes are laid down to rest all the winter inside in some buildings, and they lose about 30% of the water. That means about half of the water. So they concentrate very much the grapes. And so we have a very concentrated juice to make wine. Plus of that, during the process of drying, we have a production of sweet compounds that give sweetness, fullness, smoothness to the wine. And that's why Amarone is this very particular wine that is strong, very concentrated, but at the same time smooth and approachable. And is a wine you can drink now, you can drink in 20 years. So it's really one of the greatest wine of Italy.
It's one of my favorites. It's such a treat when you get to enjoy an Amarone, which we are going to enjoy this afternoon.
Yes, I think you've brought 2 wines in for us to try, Riccardo. One is a Valpolicella Superiore, is that right?
Yeah, the first one is the Niccolò. The Niccolò is a Valpolicella Superiore. It's made with the Passimento. When I say we dry the grapes, in Italian we say Passimento is the technique to dry the grapes.
Okay.
In this case, it's a sort of baby Amarone.
A baby Amarone.
I mean, is a Valpolicella made the same grape varieties of Amarone, but the grapes are dried only 1 month. So they lose only 10% of water. So they get a little more concentration than usual Valpolicella.
Right.
And so we get more complexity, more body in the wine.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe we should give that a try.
Yes.
So we all have a glass here. So start with this one. Now the Valpolicella, this is a Superiore, you said, and so I think there's a regulation that, does it have to do with the amount of aging in a bottle? It has to be aged for 1 year minimum, I think, to be called a Superiore?
To be Superiore, it is 1 year of aging.
Don't forget about yourself, Riccardo.
And thank you.
We don't want to drink alone,
and it means
or
also
taste alone.
Originally, half degree more of potential alcohol. So it means that we have more grapes more richer in sugar. Originally, for a potential of half a degree is more to be a Superiore, and then is aged 1 year.
Okay.
Now these wines, we are in Ontario, so these are LCBO wines. Are they generalist or
no, vintages?
They're vintages, okay. Yes. And are the wines also available in other provinces here in Canada? Or
yes, it's available in Quebec, British Columbia, Calgary.
Alberta, yes.
And we are working on the other provinces.
Okay.
We have just a little also in Manitoba.
Awesome.
Very good.
Okay. So let's give this wine a try.
Got a spider in my glass.
Oh no! Oh my God, you do!
Wow.
Here's Suzanne, I'll share.
A little bit of protein, okay.
we changed glass.
Oh dear, how did that happen?
What are the chances of that?
That's hilarious. Okay. Well, enjoy the wine there, little spider.
Oh, that's very nice. I like that.
Yeah, it's
got a little bit of sort of cherries, I think, a little bit.
Cherries, a lot of spiciness.
Spicy, yes.
Our grape variety tend to be spices, the rich in spices.
It's very nice.
And this is about $16 a bottle, I think. Very nice.
So what would be your favorite food to enjoy with your Valpolicella?
It can be, we call it a whole meal wine. I mean, you can go from pasta and up to red meat.
Okay.
And but really, it's wine you can start from the beginning to the end of the meal.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very easy drinking,
lovely.
also, isn't it? Like it's got great fruit, smooth tannins, very
yes,
soft.
It's very rich. It's sort of a sweet extract also, like an Amarone.
Yeah.
This is sour cherries, right?
Yeah.
So what you get, the sour
a little
cherries?
bit of plum, I think, too. Very nice.
Plum, red currant.
Yeah.
So for the Italian tasting today, how many wineries are there? Do you know?
Should be 80.
80 wineries? Okay. Wonderful.
That's great, yeah. So this is a regular product. Oh, it's in vintages. That's only in vintages, right? Okay. And I know Italian wines, I think that they're starting to really come back again. I think there was a little bit of a dip for a while, and now there seems to be another resurgence. Also, like in old world wines in general, there seems to be another interest, increased interest, I'd say, again, coming back.
Yeah, Italian wine are growing almost on every market.
Yeah.
I have to say my region is on fashion now. Amarone is doing very well all over the world. So we are, it's growing on every market, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a unique wine. So.
And you say that because of the I know that you say I saw on the website that you like to put sort of a personal stamp. Every single wine has its own characteristics that you try to deliver in the glass with each single wine.
Yeah, sure.
So when you say that, are you referring to like that your personal style of making this wine, of the appassimento method?
I mean, thing is due to the grape varieties, to the area. We have a great soil, I think, in our area.
Yes.
The winemaking, I think, is we want to have a certain character that is a Tedeschi character. So very complex wine, very elegant. Elegant, I mean, is the balance of the aromas. Very balanced in the mouth. You feel the same thickness from the beginning to the end in the mouth.
Yeah.
And
what vintage is this?
It's 2010.
2010, okay. And Niccolò, what is the significance of the label?
Oh, nice question. Niccolò is our nickname in our village, because there are different Tedeschi family in the same village. They have to recognize each other, and they give a nickname. But it was the name of the founder, let's say, of the winery, or say the man who bought the first vineyard. Excuse me, and that was Nicola Tedeschi, and it was called Niccolò.
Niccolò.
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely. It's very, very nice. So you also now have brought the Amarone, and you were saying it's the same grapes that are made. It's just that the drying of the grapes is much longer.
Yes.
So this was 1 month for this one.
But our appellation allowed to select really the best. Only 50% of the grapes out of a vineyard.
I'm going to use my big glass since the spider used the last one.
Sure, I bet you went and found. I bet you sourced that spider before the show, didn't you?
Well, I knew Amarone was coming, so
exactly.
Yes,
so typically, I guess, because of the increased aging and the drying, I guess it's going to, like you said, be even more concentrated, and that'll come through in the flavors, the intensity, I guess, the texture.
Yeah, everything concentrated. We have to remember that everything good in the grapes, most of the say good compounds in the grapes, they are in the skin. So taking out the water of the juice, we concentrate the skin, the ratio between skins, and so we get a really great concentration of aromas, of structure. We have a production of aromas during the drying itself. we have also a production of resveratrol, that is anti-cholesterol.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Because it's a sort of the self-defense of the plant
Absolutely.
against
Right.
of the grapes, also against the mold.
Mm-hmm.
And so this wine is very rich in that also.
It's very.
Aha,
Oh,
okay.
so this is going to prevent some wrinkles this afternoon from forming. Okay, I like that. All right, I'll just lose myself in my glass here.
Oh yeah, you can see the difference in
very
the
deep,
bouquet already.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's more
It's a-
intense.
This Amarone, I want to be, I would say, very elegant style of Amarone. Yeah, in the nose is a mix of fresh fruit and dried fruit, naturally.
Yes.
Because the grapes are dried.
Yeah, yeah.
And it goes on and on and on afterwards too. Wonderful. So how many different varieties of grapes are in this wine?
Mainly are three grape varieties: Corvina, Corvinone, and Rondinella. That they cover about 90% of the blend. And then we have a 10% that is composed by many other varieties, but
That's the
local
surprise
varieties.
in the wine, is that it?
Yeah, it's they are, none of them are famous. They are not grown in other places like Oseleta, Dindarella, Forcellina, Molinara. That is the most common.
Yeah.
Negrara. So we have many. Terodola, Teroldego, Croatina. So we have many that compound 10%. They are really present in a very small percentage.
So I have a question also. So just like in different regions, there are certain grape varieties, like in Champagne, you can only use these three grapes, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Mignonnet. Is that the same thing with Valpolicella, that
Yeah,
only those you're allowed to utilize?
We have, let's say, the majority have to be composed by the three varieties, and we have a certain percentage, maximum and minimum, we have to use.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we determine the blend in the vineyard. I mean, when we plant the vineyard. After that, we select the best grapes every vintage, and every vintage have, I'll say, one variety can work better than other. So we select a little more than that than the other. And so the blend change, the real blend change every vintage.
Yeah.
And what was your vintage like this year, the 2012 vintage? Was
Is,
it a good year?
Yes, for the quality, we still have to make Amarone, so we don't know what we made Valpolicella, and the quality is great. A little lower in quantity. For
Not
sure.
as many
That
grapes
is
this year.
Like most of the part, most of the rest of the world, actually.
Okay.
I know also that that your commitment is also to utilizing the grapes that are indigenous to the area, instead of trying to bring in, like I know, well, like with the Super Tuscans, they bring in other varieties. But in your case, you like to stick with what you actually have growing in your vineyards and what naturally grows there.
Yeah, I believe, especially for Amarone, Amarone, I said, is a wine you enjoy now, but you can enjoy in 20 or 30 years for some kind of Amarone. I think the Amarone, why we make Amarone only in our place. It used to be that the climate for the drying, that it was really, we had a good climate to dry the grapes. Now actually we have also control of drying, so it's not anymore that the main factor.
You have what, I'm sorry?
The climate, I mean, the weather, humidity, low humidity during the winter, so you can dry the grapes.
Oh, okay.
Now I have to say we also control the environment during the drying, so it's not the point. The point is they are the varieties. We can make this wine you can enjoy now, but it developed very well during the aging of the wine. There were some experiments actually in the university. They try to make with the Cabernet, with Shiraz, with international varieties.
Yeah.
The wine is good in the beginning, but then it doesn't develop well like our varieties.
Okay.
So that's
Well,
why
those
interesting.
grapes were there for a reason, right? That's where they were discovered.
Yes.
That's their home. So it makes sense.
It does. Yeah. This has, I find this has even a richer, like more cherry than even in the first one I find. It's
actually
luscious.
to have a balanced wine, we try to balance the tannicity and alcoholicity of the wine with the acidity. So we need we do an early harvest, but at the same time we maintain also better the aromas. So the cherries, the freshness we feel is not common in many wines actually. And I think this Amarone is really a mix of freshness and
Delicious. I'm saving mine for later.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I know we're going to be enjoying a little bit of olive oil later on too, so we'll see how we're going to put that all together and see how it all comes out.
Sounds good to me. So also, the Veneto region is one of the major wine growing regions and one of the most important regions in Italy. Is that right?
Yes, yes. It's the main producer in quantity, let's say, and we have this, I would say, few areas where really we have some of the best jewels of wine of Italy. Yeah.
Well, everybody knows Amarone.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
It is a
Amarone.
special treat. Thank you so much for coming in this afternoon.
Thank you.
We're going to enjoy a little bit more of our Amarone, and our next segment is all going to be about olive oil.
That's right.
So, which is a very Italian thing as well.
Oh, yes.
And a lot of
Absolutely.
parallels
Thank you.
between wine and olives also, right?
Oh,
So that's
yes.
going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to learn how to slurp olive oil.
Yeah.
Did you know you slurp olive oil?
Yeah, I had some kind of idea.
Did
yeah,
you?
Yeah. I just want to mention to everybody, because I don't think we told everyone, that this also, like we said, is available at the Vintages.
Yes.
And I believe it sells for $39.95, about
Yes.
$40. And I think it's worth every penny, everyone. So go check it out.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
All right,
Ricardo.
Ricardo, thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next, olive oil. We'll be right back.